Thank you for using GTL.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Trent Cruz Show. Tonight we have a very special guest. We have Deontez Bobo. You on the line, Deontez?
Yes, I am.
Good to hear from you. So up here in Minnesota, we've been fighting for reparations. And point number 10, one of a big part of reparations is repairing the damages of the criminal injustice system.
Okay.
So, just real quick, can you tell me just who you are?
My name is Deontez Bobo. I'm 34 years old. I was wrongfully convicted in 2007. I'm a father. I was convicted of aiding and abetting a drive-by murder. I was the only person actually charged in the case. There's no shooter. There's no vehicle. It's only me. I was given a life sentence for the crime of aiding and abetting. I'm actually a facilitator of restorative justice and a person who actually like to uplift my community. It's a little bit about myself.
So, where you who was the person that was killed in this situation?
Roberts and Reginald Nichols.
Okay.
Nicholas Roberts and Reginald Nichols was actually killed in this crime.
Who would be their family?
I actually really don't know anything about their family. I don't really know none of the people who surround him or his family. I never really got a chance to meet none of them. I don't even really know. I don't know the person.
When this happened, how old were you, or who were you know?
I was 18.
Okay. And where was this, in Minnesota or?
Yeah, this was Minnesota, North Minneapolis, right off West Broadway, in front of the Stand Up Frank's bar.
In front of which one?
Stand Up Frank's bar.
Stand Up Frank. Okay. So when this crime happened, what were you doing?
At the exact time, I can't pretty much tell you, but I left from over in North Minneapolis with my son and his mom, and went to my residence in Richfield. I actually got pulled over in the process of going home.
Okay, can you kind of just go back over that real quick? You're on the way home.
Okay, yeah, I was on the way home. I actually got pulled over on my way home by the state troopers on the freeway because I had actually dropped my phone. I reached down to grab my phone and I swerved a little bit, and I was actually pulled over. At the time, I only had a permit. I didn't have a driver's license, so they ended up towing my vehicle for failure to follow permit instructions. So my vehicle was actually towed at that time. I had to actually walk the rest of the way home.
So when
and this was actually like shortly after the murder occurred.
Okay, so that happened. You're on the way to the house. The troopers pull you over. Did they say why they pulled you over?
Yeah, because I swerved a little bit. I know where they pulled me over. It was nighttime. I swerved a little bit. I reached down to grab my phone, so I know why he pulled me over. He was like, "That's why," because I kind of swerved a little bit.
So when when did this happen? What year?
This was June 2nd, 2006. Around probably 2:30 something, 2:40 something at night.
When did you get pulled over?
That's around the time I got pulled over, around 2:40. I think the murder probably happened sometime around 2:30.
Okay.
2:30 at night or something like that.
And you said it happened over in North Minneapolis, over by
in North Minneapolis, Stand Up Frank's bar. I had got pulled over in South Minneapolis, well actually Richfield, by the Lindale exit, right off 60th and Lindale. That's where I got pulled over at.
So why did they accuse you of the murder?
So in 2006, I actually got picked up and I was down in the county on a probation violation being hold. And a relative of mine actually had came down on a aggravated robbery and some other charges. So to get out of jail, he had actually told the police that he had information on the stand-up Frank's murder. So he actually worked a deal with the police actually to get out of jail, called and claimed he had information on the murder. If he was released, he could get information on more. And this actually happened on August 10th, 2006, that he actually took his deal to work with the police. So around 11 o'clock at night, they moved me out of my unit and moved me in a unit with him. 6 days later, they end up moving him out of the unit. And they end up charging me with the murder, saying that he said that I confessed to him that I committed the murder. But he had actually contacted him before we was even around each other. And they end up charging me with the murder. So I went to trial for that. But at trial, he actually recanted. He said before he told the police that he was lying, he was back in the county because another murder at that time that happened on May 20th, 2006, he falsely accused two of our other relatives of committing, and the police had actually found out that he did it. So they charged him with that murder and a murder that happened sometime in late June or early July of 2006.
So he is basically like a CRI or certified reliable informant.
Yeah, CRI mean confidential reliable informant.
Okay.
Or credible reliable informant, meaning that he was already working with them before. And that's probably one of the things why I say systematic injustice what they use, because he had already gave them false information, but they still use him as a CRI on my case, claiming that he's reliable and credible when he did already put another murder that he did off on somebody else.
So before this 2006 incident, your cousin, who is a CRI, had already put somebody else or blamed a murder on somebody else.
Yeah, actually at the same time, around the same time that he called the police and told them he had information on the stand-up Frank's murder, he actually gave him information on that stand-up Frank's murder in detail, and he actually gave him information on another murder that happened May 20th, actually 13 days before the murder they accused me of accusing, and then they let him out. So he was out actually working with the police for a while, and then they picked him up and charged him with that murder and another murder that happened sometime in July. While he was out actually being an informant, he had committed another murder. They picked him up.
So basically what you're saying is, was it like they put him, like he got arrested, but like they put him in the same cell as you, or they put him in a situation where he could speak to you and start?
Yeah, I actually believe that was the case because I was actually in a whole different unit, and he was already working with them, saying that he had information with the stand-up Frank's murder. What happened in between time, I really had no clue. But they moved me in the middle of the night. They moved me in his unit on August 14th. He took his deal to work with them after he gave them information August 10th. August 14th, they moved me in the unit with him. 6 days later, they end up moving him out of the unit with me. And they said when I was in the unit with him, I confessed, but he had already previously called. But we actually got history with the police and the gang task force and the homicide unit when it comes to like Bruce Falkins and all them.
Who's Bruce Falkins?
Huh?
Bruce Falkins, who is that?
Bruce Falkins, he was a sergeant homicide detective. He was actually commander now, but he actually the officer that was seen on video during the George Floyd protest that was hunting activists.
Oh, really?
Those racial slurs. Yep.
Okay, so now just because I'm a little confused, so what did he have to do with this 2006 case?
Well, he was the homicide lead detective on this case, but he was actually the handler of the CRI. He was actually the one who worked with the CRI from the beginning, from the first time he gave them information all the way up until he was pretty much charged.
Wow. And so just to kind of recap what you were just saying, you weren't actually accused of like shooting somebody. You were just accused of like aiding and abetting, right?
Yeah, I was accused of aiding and abetting and being a driver.
But
the thing is about that, the victim, I always send my condolences to the family of the victim. But the victim, one of the victims, the surviving victim in the car, said that it was a 4-door Tahoe or a Yukon, 4 doors, black tint, double doors in the back. And I actually got put over that same night in my 2-door Blazer, which is an S10, a smaller size, not a full-size truck. I got put over shortly after the murder. They claimed I was with the shooter, claiming that our phones had ringed off the same cell towers before the murder, during the murder, and for the rest of the night after the murder. But once I got pulled over shortly after the murder, I wasn't even with the assumed shooter. The person they claimed was the shooter or was the supposed shooter, but nobody charged. But when I got pulled over, I wasn't with them, but the phones never left each other. So they charged me and convicted me, claiming I was with the supposed shooter when he committed the crime, and we was together all night.
Has the person who was supposed to be the shooter, have they been charged?
No, nobody was ever charged on this but me.
Wow. Yeah, so you're accused of aiding and abetting somebody who's not in jail, who has not been charged. So this is confusing. How do you aid and abet a shooter, but then the person who did the shooting's not serving time?
Right. One of the problems with that too, at my trial, the prosecutor, Hillary Caligiuri, was my prosecutor during trial, and she told the jury before trial, "You're going to hear evidence of another person, in this case, the shooter, but don't worry about him because he's being tried in front of another jury, not this one," which nobody was never charged.
Wow.
And one of my juries, Patrick Wells, he said on my jury, he was actually felt some type of way about it because in the newspaper they put that a driver is convicted and the shooter may never be captured. So he actually contacted my judge, Susan M. Robner, saying that he felt some type of way because the whole time he thought it was a shooter charge. So I guess she gave him some type of excuse of they assumed that he'd be charged later or something like that. So he ended up contacting my lawyer, Tracy Acorn Hicks, who was my trial lawyer at the time, and speaking to him about it. That's how I actually found out that information about him feeling some type of way about it.
Right now, so yeah, because to me that's a little strange that the person who was supposed to be the shooter has not been charged, but yet you're
right.
How long? I know 2000. So how long have you been in for?
16 years.
16 years. Have you guys reached out to like the Innocence Project or the ACLU or anything like that?
Yeah, I reached out to the Innocent Project prior, but the Innocent Project mostly deal with like DNA stuff. I actually got affidavits that I had, and they said they probably couldn't really do too much about it. So I actually had been appealing it myself. The CRU had actually reached out, and I did an application for the CRU. But they accepted the case, but I have yet to hear anything about what they're doing, any follow-ups or any updates. I'm
sorry, I never heard of CRU. Who's that?
That's the Conviction Review Unit. They were just funded $300,000 in 2001 for the year 2020. 2022. They was funded $300,000 to look in cases and review them. I guess it was Keith Ellison and his office, a group of prosecutors partnering with the Innocence Project.
Okay. So real quick, I think you got about 50 seconds
remaining.
Can you tell people just real quick why you should be released, and if anybody wants to help or get involved, who should they contact?
Okay, well, I'm looking for support. I want people to speak up to this injustice because it ain't only me that's in this injustice, but I want people to follow me on Facebook at MN Justice for Bobo. And just follow me and reach out to me on Facebook if there's any support, anything anybody can do to help to speak out to these people, to the administration, to the police department. I want people to contact those people and speak out in public, speak out in the media. The more attention that we get, the more attention it's going to help my case. It's going to help my cause, and people are going to see the injustice that's being done.
No doubt. So we're going to stay in touch with you and keep working on this and figuring out, keep having you come back and give us an update on how things are progressing and see who we can contact. Get in touch with people. Keep us updated on what CRU is
Thank
doing
you
and
for
things
using
like that.
GTL.
Nikisha, you still there? So no doubt. Just real quick, that was Deontez Bobo. He's in prison right now. He's been in prison right now since 2006. I believe he was convicted because of a CRI. He's in jail, but the person who they're saying did the shooting is not in jail. So if there's anybody who and just real quick, I have lost family members to gun violence. I've lost a cousin, a brother, lots of friends that I know have been killed by community violence. So this isn't an issue that I take lightly. We take it very seriously. But at the same time, I know that there are people in jail and just period, people who are accused of things that they did not do or for crimes they did not commit. And they're in jail or in prison right now. So that what we kind of just heard really doesn't add up. So if there's people that want to help him, please reach out to his Facebook page. Please jump in and help this family. They've been fighting really hard, and they have some legislation that they're also working on. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Trern Cruz Show. You can watch the rebroadcast of this program on www.blacktvs.com or download Black Watch Television on your Roku app. All right. Peace.